today's Muslims are in so much trouble everywhere. If we see, there are Muslims who call upon Hussain, who remember Hussain, who even cry upon Hussain. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the believers on the occasion of birth anniversary of Imam Husain alayhi salam, the grandson of our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, my today's topic is about the world needs Hussain, and the Hussain, the voice of the oppressed. So, first of all, I would like to quote some hadiths about Imam Hussain. The first one is very common: Hussain is from me and I am from Hussain. That is the Prophet is saying about Imam Hussain, which has a very deep meaning. And the other hadith in which Prophet said, "Oh Allah, I love Hussain, so love whoever who loves him." And these are the hadiths that are both written in Sunni and Shia books. So these hadiths just simply justifies the status of Imam Hussain, how Imam Hussain is important to Prophet and ultimately to Islam. And whoever is against Imam Hussain is ultimately against Islam. But today, anyone is ready to take the life of others unjustly on the slightest differences. But today, no one is willing to sacrifice his life for the sake of truth and justice. So this is happening in today's world, and if we talk about Muslims, there are Muslims everywhere in Asia, Africa, in Middle East, and everywhere Muslims just go to Mecca for performing their Hajj pilgrimage and doing everything that is obligatory upon them, being charity, doing prayers, fasting, these things. Then what is the reason that today's Muslims are in so much trouble everywhere? If we see, there are Muslims who call upon Hussain, who remember Hussain, who even cry upon Hussain, but no one is ready to speak against oppression. No one is ready to stand with the oppressed people and stand against oppressors. Like in that time, what happened in the Battle of Karbala? Many people, they were performing duties, they were performing Hajj, they were performing prayers, but instead of these things, they were against Imam Hussain. And many of them were even crying upon Imam Hussain at that time, who were in the Yazid's army, but they were not speaking against their ruler, who was Yazid. They were still standing against Imam Hussain. So the reason behind it is simply clear, and Imam Husain has himself said that the eyes of those whose flesh is made of haram skin cannot see the oppressed. They cannot see the oppressed because the stomachs of the people who gathered against Imam Hussain were full of haram. They were just going for this worldly wealth. They have forgotten the difference between the haram things and the halal things. So this was the reason that even if the eyes of these people see the injustice, but still they are not ready to be against injustice. And this is same happening in today's world, and still the condition is the same. Many Muslims have joined the hands of the enemy, and the result of that is Muslims in occupied areas are suffering. They have been tortured, and the silence of the Muslim world, Muslim countries, is just favoring the enemies of the Islam. And this is what Imam Hussain did not want, because he said in his will to Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, his brother, that I am ready to fight for the sole goal of seeking reform of the Ummah. And I want to enjoin good and forbid evil. And that is the basic principle of the Islam, and that is the basic aim which Imam Hussain wanted to convey to the world, and wanted Muslim world to follow this aim, to follow this principle, that enjoin the good and forbid evil. And when we see in today's world, if a Muslim brother or sister is doing bad things, we are not even ready to stop them or to make them understand that they are doing bad things. Instead, we are being with them all the time, being friends with them, but we are not even ready to say a word to them. And this is the reality of the Muslim world, Muslim people today. And when I talk about oppression, if we see how many Muslims are oppressed in this world, and how many Muslims are really raising their voices for them against the injustice. And when you remember Imam Hussain, you should remember the things that Imam Hussain did in the Battle of Karbala and why he rose against Yazid. What was the reason? The reason was simple: to desire to propagate to do good and to forbid against evil and to stop the enemies for doing bad to Islam. It's very hilarious to mention that I've seen people that they are continuously doing bad stuff and still hoping that they would join the Imam Mahdi's army. It is not possible that you would be in Imam Hussein's camp when you are doing the evil stuff and still hoping that you would really join the Imam's army, because you have to be like Hazrat Hur alayhi salam, who was in the Yazid's army, but then he take the side of Imam Hussain because he realized that he was on the wrong path. Only then you can be on the Imam Hussein's sides, when you really enjoin the good and forbid against evil. Our Imam Hussain is now our Imam Mahdi who will come inshallah. So we have to be like Hazrat Hur alayhi salam. We can't be the ones who were just weeping, who were just crying upon Imam Hussain, but still were in the Yazid's army. We can't be like that, and we can't expect that the Imam will really accept us. I would really like to end on this note. हुसैन तुम नहीं रहे तुम्हारा घर नहीं रहा मगर तुम्हारे बाद जालिमों का डर नहीं रहा. In English, which means, Hussein, you are no more. Your home is no more, but after you there is no fear of the oppressors, because the Karbala was really for the people who think that they are weak and they cannot do anything against the enemies. For the sake of Islam, we should also think that we can do good, we can do better, to be, of course, in the army of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam and to be in the hereafter with Imam Husain alayhi salam. So this was all for today. See you guys inshallah in the next video. Till then, Khuda.